You're watching Tennessee Titans today. I am Tom Downey, and we want to get to know our audience here just a little bit better at Chat Sports. So our question of the day, when did you become a Titans fan? I want to hear from you guys and learn just how long you've been supporting Tennessee. So get those answers and replies in for me in the comment section right now. Tom Downey here for Tennessee Titans today, breaking down everything going on around the Titans organization, beginning with some quarterback rumors out there. There was a report recently that Tennessee tried to go big at the quarterback position this offseason before they ended up taking Malik Willis. They looked into trades for both Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson, despite the organization publicly saying Ryan Tannehill was their guy and they were fully committed to him. They did at least explore. Here is what ESPN's Adam Schefter said. Quote, "There is a lot riding on this season for Ryan Tannehill and the Tennessee Titans. They were dipping their toes in on Aaron Rodgers during the offseason before he re-signed in Green Bay. They checked in on Deshaun Watson and found that he wouldn't be traded in the division. Of course, we should all remember the story of Aaron Rodgers buys land in Nashville. That ended up not really doing anything for Tennessee, but they did at least explore the idea of adding Aaron Rodgers, confirming, I believe, this fact. This season is a pivotal and massive one for Ryan Tannehill. The organization explored other options in the trade market. They drafted a QB fairly early who they think could be the Tannehill replacement. They are at least open, especially from a contract perspective after this year, to moving on from Tannehill. And I think the core of the issue is the playoff or lack thereof success. Tannehill has not been a bad QB, but the concern is he fits more along the lines of a Jimmy Garoppolo, a Kirk Cousins of, you can do a lot worse. You also wonder if he can do enough for you to be your true franchise. Look at the dip. Now, it's a smaller sample size, I know, 45 games versus 5, but the yards per attempt drops off by a full yard. The TD percentage actually goes up in the postseason, but the interception rate doubles. That is a massive difference. The completions drops by almost 5%. Regular season Tannehill is I think a top 15 QB, if not top 10. Playoff Ryan Tannehill has not been that great. Now, you're playing better competition. I get all of that. But I think the concern over Tannehill's being able to take the next step forward in the postseason is why they moved up to snag Malik Willis back end of the third round. Now, Malik Willis is a raw, needs development type of QB. But this organization is not as fully committed to Tannehill as they once were. Now, Malik Willis needs time. I don't think Tannehill's going to lose his job this year, and he's already made comments about not feeling the need to teach everything to Malik Willis. And I think part of those comments come from Tannehill knowing he's a bit on the hot seat right now. This is a do-or-die season for the already over 33 years old Tannehill. Willis has immense upside, as we all know. He's got the great arm, the mobility. He was my number one QB, although part of that was the fact that there wasn't really a great QB in this year's class. But the upside is tantalizing. It's why Tennessee moved up to go get him, and they will try to develop him. Whether it's for next year, 2 years, or if he doesn't pan out at all, they're going to try to make Malik Willis into their franchise guy, but they didn't commit too much to where they can't explore other options if they need to, say in the trade market or free agency market, or even the draft market again, next year or the year after that. So pick a QB for me. Who'd you rather have as your franchise guy? Type RT for Ryan Tannehill or type in MW for Malik Willis. Sound off in the comments section. If you're typing in your MW, make sure you go get a Malik Willis jersey. Those are on sale along with some other notable rookies like Traylon Burks at chatsports.com/Titans jersey. We'll make sure that link gets put in both the comment section and in the description. So go get yours today at chatsports.com/Titans jersey. Let's look way into the future here. Todd McShay put out his way too early 2023 NFL mock draft, and I wanted to talk about it because I love the selection made by McShay. This was Michael Mayer, the tight end out of Notre Dame, who I am a huge fan of, and I think is going to be a stud in the NFL. The Notre Dame offense was at its best when they just threw it up to Michael Mayer because the quarterback wasn't great. The rest of the receiving core wasn't exactly ideal either, but I would love it if Tennessee could somehow get their hands on Michael Mayer in the 2023 NFL Draft. Here's what McShay wrote. Mayer finished his sophomore season with 71 catches, third among tight ends, 840 receiving yards, fourth among tight ends. He has tremendous size at 6'4", 251, and good hands. The Titans would love a playmaking tight end like Michael Mayer, or for quarterback Ryan Tannehill or Malik Willis, should the Titans make that move going into 2023. I would love to get this player on this organization. And I know Tennessee went out and they signed Austin Hooper to a one-year deal, but you typically don't see this level of production at the collegiate level at tight end. 71 catches, 840 yards, and McShay left off the fact that he had 7 touchdowns. He is a good blocker with good hands, even went gloveless a couple times at Notre Dame. I am a big fan of this prospect. And again, looking ahead into the future, Austin Hooper, it's tight end 1. He's on a one-year deal. Jeff Swaim is a blocking tight end in the end. Chig Okonkwo is more of a move tight end. You probably feel about him as your tight end 2. If your long-term pairing is Michael Mayer and Chig Okonkwo, that's a lot better than what this team has had in recent years since they, even probably including some of the Jonnu Smith efforts. I think Michael Mayer could be a top 10 prospect in the 2023 NFL Draft. Yes, it is early. There's an entire year of things to change. But when I look ahead, the Tennessee's biggest need long-term, at least beyond 2022, I think tight end is certainly up there. Now, as it relates to this roster right now, what do you think is the Titans' biggest need? I believe it is left guard, but I want to hear from you. Get those votes in for me in the comment section right now. Let's talk breakout season for Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. Now, this is a player who, for now, we're going to pencil in at wide receiver 3 for the organization. The A.J. Brown trade, even with the drafting of Treylon Burks, allowed NWI to be a key part of this passing attack based on the current roster. Now, he had a career year last season, but I think, and I know, he is also looking for an even bigger step forward in 2022. Here were his comments on the A.J. Brown trade. Quote, I feel like most of us were shocked. The first thing was like, wow, I wasn't really expecting it. I'm happy he's getting paid the money he needs, that he deserves. The next thing was like, all right, well, it was a big opportunity for me, and kind of raises that extra level of attention to detail going in to this offseason. I feel like I was in a very much still like a learning role the last couple of years. I'm going to embrace this new opportunity, but it also helps a lot having Robert Woods in there. He's just got so much experience, and he's still got a lot to bring to the table. I think this is the opportunity for Nick Westbrook-Ikhine to make a step forward and prove that he is a part of this wide receiver core long term. Tennessee added Robert Woods via trade. They drafted Treylon Burks with the pick they got for A.J. Brown, at least one of the picks they got for A.J. Brown. And this team has spent some notable day 3 draft capital on guys like Dez Fitzpatrick, who couldn't make the active roster to begin last year, on Racey McMath, one of the special teamer. And Kyle Phillips, I think, could be a slot receiver long term, but in theory, you might put Treylon Burks in the slot in year 1, make Phillips your backup punt return guy. That does leave, for me, NWI as the number 3 receiver for this team. In 2021, he did flash a little bit. 38 catches for 476 yards. He had 4 touchdowns, by the way. And a fantastic trivia question to ask your friends and family is, who was the number 2 receiver for Tennessee last year? It was not Julio Jones. Nick Westbrook-Ikhine outproduced him in catches, yards, and touchdowns. Not quite average, but that is not something Tennessee planned for. Now, with that said, I would still look at other receivers. I don't feel immensely confident overall in this receiver room. I think Treylon Burks will have a big-time year. I think Woods is going to be great. I think Phillips could be a nice long-term piece. I'm not that confident, unfortunately, in Dez Fitzpatrick. So I would not be mad at all if this team said, yeah, let's explore the free agency market. They're not going to bring back Julio Jones, but there are still some notable free agents on the open market and in the trade market if you want to go with a second trade of a receiver after doing one with Robert Woods. So what do you think? Will Nick Westbrook-Ikhine have a breakout year, a true breakout year, maybe even approaching 700, 800 yards? Get your answers for me in the comment section right now. It's Y for yes or N for no. Remember, folks, if you haven't already, to please subscribe to us here on Titans Today. Gotta be honest, this channel's lagging behind all the other ones here at Chat Sports, which means don't get the same priority as other teams. So hit that big red button and subscribe right now.